What is going on, my stock market bulls and bears? It is your boy Terry Stonkers, and welcome to my channel, baby. Buy the dip. All right, guys, we got today was a pretty bad day for Meta. It went down over another 2.5%, 2.67%, and even went down further after hours. But still got that smile on my face because something came after hours. I tell you what, it's phenomenal. And I think people is sleeping on it, and it is phenomenal news. I got the spreadsheets up for you guys. We're going to go over all the details and the numbers. And yes, I'm pretty excited about METATERRY's future here, guys. It's just getting better. Everything is just, like we said, the ground floor is being laid here. We're getting ready for liftoff. Real quick, though, I do want to say, earlier today on my lunch break, Eastern Standard Time, I had to be one of the first YouTubers to put this video out about Donald Trump's new SPAC, DWAC. I put this out around 11 o'clock, a little after 11 Eastern Standard Time, and I see now everyone on my news feed over there has DWAC posting videos. All the big ones are talking about DWAC now. And I had someone here I just want to point out. Someone here said, Brent said, Terry, my man, you made me 10K on this play today, bro. I'll send you your cut when I get off work. So, Brent, that's the kind of stuff, like I said, I'm not worried about Trump in a sense. But if people can make money on the play, it gives us more money to put back into METATERRY. So, I don't want anyone selling out of their main stocks to buy this SPAC, because when it crashes, it's going to be, as they say, the Trump pump and dump. I don't want any of my viewers to be chasing this at $50 a share right now, or $50, $60 a share. It's getting way too risky, guys. I bought in at 18. I sold it at 25. It was a $7 per share profit. That's nice gains. But this is the next AMC GME pump and dump right here. So I don't want any of my viewers get left holding the bag. And for this video, I want to focus on the Fintel. We had a filing hit after hours today. Here you go, guys. The shares outstanding on METATERRY in total, 279 million shares, roughly right under 280 million. That's what I want to point out. Our ownership accumulation score is a 98.79. We're ranked 23 out of over 22,400 stocks. Now, down here you can see we got a 13 DG filings. These are what you call big, I guess you say insiders buying. And when they have over a certain amount of ownership, they have to disclose the ownership. And we have a new one here, Welch Thomas Gordon, 46.8 million shares. He has a bigger stake in this than what George does, the freaking CEO, guys. 16.7% ownership. This man has bought a ton of shares. Now, here's the actual filing here on Premium Fintel. I can bring this to you guys. Here it is, filed right here. And if we scroll down here and look, with a copy to Thomas E. Hornish, Wilson, Sonomi, Goodrich, and Rosati. And here it is. If the person filing, we're going to go down here to persons reporting, Thomas Welch. SEC filing here, shared voting power, 46.8 million shares. And if we scroll down here, percent of ownership, 16.7%. And we're going to scroll down here and read a little bit of this. So here it says, consists of 23.5 million common stock owned directly by Thomas Welch, 23.1 million of stock owned by Mrs. Welch, Mr. Welch's spouse, Ann Lambert, and 186,000 shares of common stock that Mr. Welch has the right to acquire within 60 days of June 28th. Based on the quote, the aggregate number of shares owned by Mr. and Mrs. Mr. Welch and Mrs. Lambert is a sum. The outstanding shares, 279 million outstanding as of METATERRY. They did the 10Q. And down here you can see Thomas Welch is a natural person and citizens of Canada. And Lambert is a natural person, citizens of Canada. Now, down here, identity and background, this is very interesting to see. The address for principal business and the principal office applicable of Mr. Welch and Mrs. Lambert, 47 Pleasant Street, P.O. Box 40, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. The principal business of Mr. Welch is serving as director of the International Conservation of Fund of Canada. The principal business of Mrs. Lambert is serving as the director of International Conservation Fund of Canada. During the past 5 years, none of the reporting persons have been convicted of any crime. So these are people that are in Canada, guys. They're up here with George. They are the Director of International Conservation Fund of Canada, and they bought a huge freaking stake. Now, if we're here on the post and you click on this arrow right here, it gives you more details, and it's going to take us to this right here. Latest disclosed ownership, 46.8 million shares, 16.7% ownership. Now, here is what I find a little interesting. We do this a lot when it's the, I guess you would say, the institutions and they buy. We look at the buyers and the sellers, and you click on this, and usually the effective date is different from the file date. But on this case, it's the same date, like today. The effective date is 10/21. The file date is 10/21. I don't think I've ever seen that. Usually these are like 30 to 60 days apart. And here it says the 46.8 million shares, 16.7%. Now, I love you guys so much. I went in and did the spreadsheet for this because we got to just talk about these numbers here, guys. So look at this. As we know, the total outstanding shares, I did the spreadsheet here. Here's what Mr. Welch has. Here's what George has, Nova Scotia Innovation Corp, and Greg McCabe. They all in turn have 111,377,361 shares. So if we take the total outstanding float of MMAT stock, which is the 279 million and the oddball shares there, minus off the 111 million shares, that leaves the remaining float that, because these are all gobbled up. I mean, right there's a big part of our float just gobbled up by 4 individuals right there. There's 168.4 million shares out on the regular float. Now, I know there is a lot of impatient people out there in the metaverse and, you know, my meta millionaires. Not saying usually people that usually watch my videos are, but I see people commenting in the Facebook groups. I see people commenting in the stock twits. I see people that have been watching my videos that maybe been watching them for a while, the last 6 months, and they're getting tired of waiting. Like I said, retail investors sometimes don't like to wait. And, you know, you see a play like DWAC today come out at like $12 and it shoots straight up. And you're like, why isn't my stock doing that? You got people selling out of, like, you know, great plays. My buddy Wancho there was telling me he's been reading all over the social media. People are selling out of SoFi, all the big name stocks, and that's what's happening. People is selling out of their high conviction stocks to ride this momentum train on that Trump SPAC. Now, I'm all about people getting some gains, but you're playing with fire and you're risking it, man, to sell out of your plays to chase that SPAC that's over $50, $60 right now. I'm recommending you guys, man, I can't tell you what to do, but don't do it. I did it for a little bit, made some money, and I'm out. Like, I'm done. I'm just here on the sidelines to see what happens. And like I said, I had to be one of the first ones to bring you that news. So congratulations to anyone that bought and sold it and took profit. So that's what I did. Gave me a little extra power and a little extra buying power. So that's always good to have. And yeah, I mean, I'm super excited with seeing 168.4 million. If that doesn't get you excited, that almost cut our, you know, free float down a lot. There's not much left. I mean, you got almost over 30 to 40% of our float gone, guys, which is just like, there's not that much left. How much of that 168 is retail? How much of that 168, if I take you back here and we go look at just the buyers, guys, let's go look at the buyers. Now, look at all these greens. Like, here's 15,000, 22,000, 32,000, 39,000, 136,000, 405,000, 96,000, another 456,000 shares, 130,000 shares. When you start adding all these positions up, another 487,000. This Russell's bought 1.4 million shares. When you start adding all these shares up, there was one for 715,000. And like I said, you start adding all these up, our free float is a hell of a lot lower than what it's even saying on my spreadsheet here, guys, because this here isn't even accounting for the institutions, the big totes. This ain't including for us retail investors what we have. This is what's getting me exciting, because as more people start to realize the gem that MetaMaterials is, this is my number one stock, guys, is keeping it real. MMAT is the number one play. So I take these other plays, I throw a little bit in it, I can make a couple $100. What do? I go in and buy shares like I've showed you all on the Twitter. I went in and bought 90 shares the other day at the Sterling 476. And I do that by swing trading these other plays for a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, and next thing you know, you add up with a good bit of money, and boom, I could buy more metamaterials. So that's what I'm doing. And if you all took profits on DWAC, consider taking some of that money and buying metamaterials, help out the family, and we're gonna get the shorts on this, guys. If they keep shorting us, we're gonna get it. So I guess we can run down real quick the short information. It's not really, in my opinion, as relevant as it used to be with the short interest because it's just not. Our short squeeze score is a 77.73. We are ranked 294 out of 5,400 stocks. 1 point today, we was down to 0 shares. They did return them, and now we have 550,000. Our borrow fee is still 3.7, so in the threes. And they did short us about 50% of the short volume ratio today. Yeah. And I didn't even do the spreadsheet on the short transactions because there's just honestly not that many in my opinion. Usually I can scroll down a lot farther and I don't see anything over here that's like crazy amounts. They're all like 10, 20,000 and no one hitting like 50,000 or $100,000 short positions. So yeah, I just don't know right now if the short squeeze is even there. But maybe it will. But right now, I don't think it's any kind of possibility. We just got to get our news out. We got to get these MMTLP taken care of. Once we get the dividend taken care of, I think we're going to get more rolling on the stock. I think the preferred shares just got people a little upset. People's getting impatient, and they just want to be done with it, and they want to move on to the next play. So that's what I think it is. That's not what I'm doing. I'm going to keep buying up this dip as long as it's here. I can ride these swing trades and buy in and out, and boom, next thing I know, got me a nice little chunk of MMAT stock. So, hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash the thumbs up. Check out the links down below. I think that gentleman said there that he was going to send some money. And if anyone else was looking to send any money, guys, I have in my description of my videos, I got a PayPal link down there for donations. You can do the super chats here as we're doing live premieres. And I even got a Cash App link down below. You can send money that way, and you'll get a shout out on the channel if you do that. And I got that cruise coming up. We're going to be talking about that in future videos coming up next week, guys. So it's going to be exciting. So catch you on the next one. Peace.